Hi there, Paul from Untitled Pizza. Today we're going to talk about Polish. You might ask, with all the videos about making pizza dough from Polish on the internet, why make another one? Well, despite all the videos and all the websites and blogs that I visited, there was always a little bit of ambiguity as to how I should best prepare for my style of making pizza. So if you make pizza like me, you're making it at home, but you are making it in a refractory oven, either fire or gas, then this pizza video might be interesting for you. The biggest issue that I ran into is how much hydration should I be using. So most of the videos will show you that you should use 70% hydration, and that's not necessarily true. That works great for an oven like my home oven. Today we're going to show how to make the pizza with hydration that's appropriate for the backyard pizzaiolo, as always, at Untitled Pizza.
For a flame oven, we're going to be using a 64% hydration mixture. The Polish itself is, of course, a 100% hydration. 600 grams of water, 600 grams of flour. Before mixing in the flour, you notice that I mixed in the yeast, 5 grams, and 5 grams of honey, just to make sure that the yeast is blossoming before I mix in the flour. That way, if I made a mistake or if there's a problem with my yeast, I can just throw out some water and some yeast, go get some new yeast, and start over. At this point, the Polish mixture is just about ready to go. It's completely battery smooth, there are no clumps of flour, and so we're going to let this sit for an hour at room temperature before putting it in the refrigerator.
I'm done for the day. Got about 42 minutes left on our timer. We're gonna let this sit until it's been at room temperature for an hour, and then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator for 16 to 24 hours. But as long as you're in that range, you're gonna get good fermentation of the dough.
Before we put the dough into the refrigerator, you can see that there are some bubbles in it, but it's relatively smooth on top, and you'll see there are much more bubbles after we take it out.
Yesterday, we made the Polish. In this bowl, I covered it, I put it in the refrigerator, and after about 20 hours, I took it out, and it's been sitting here for an hour now. And as you can see, it's very, very fermented. There's a lot of air in that dough, so it's ready to go. We have also salt, which we're going to be adding, and we're going to be adding some flour and some additional water, and that's really it. So to make this for 1.5 kilograms of flour, we're going to be adding 900 grams of flour, so 900 plus the 600 from yesterday, that's 1,500 grams. And then for the water, we have 600 grams in here. I'm making about a 64% hydration, which is about right for a flame oven. That means I'm gonna have a total of 960 grams of water. So 600 from yesterday, we're gonna add 360 grams of water in this next process.
I mix the water directly into the Polish, and then I mix it with my hands. As soon as I'm done with that and adding in the salt, I start to mix in the flour a little bit at a time until I get that ready to knead on the table, and then I try to absorb as much as I can from the flour that's left in the table and on the bowl before we go to the next step. Even with the 64% hydration dough, it's still going to be a little bit sticky, but that's okay. That'll go away as it's covered with the bowl.
All right, so we've taken the second step today, which was after letting it rest, we kneaded in the other ingredients. In an oven, a home oven, you might want to consider adding olive oil. But since we're cooking in a much hotter oven, we don't need sort of that extra cook boost from it. In fact, that may kind of encourage burning on the pizza, so I'm not going to be adding any olive oil to this batch. The next step is just kneading, and now that the dough is relaxed, for about 15-20 minutes. And then we're going to let it sit for a while and make the dough balls. So our dough has been resting for about an hour and just covered in the bowl, as you probably saw from the video. Put it back in the bowl. One thing you'll notice, take this off, is that it has grown immensely. You can see it's very, very light. There's a ton of air in this dough. And our goal here is just to flip this over, and then we're gonna make the dough balls. We'll let the dough balls rest for a couple of hours, and then we'll be ready to make our pizza. So we're really at the final step of making dough with Polish. 2 hours, we're gonna take these out and just take a look. Ooh, so very nice and airy, very light. You can almost hear it. I can hear it. Ooh, my goodness. Let's take one of these things out. Let's see if we can stretch it at this point. And voila! Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Oh, it's so light. It's like a little cloud. Extremely light.
The result for Neapolitan pizza is a great dough that is both crunchy and soft at the crust. And it's great for a Bari style as well.